Warning: this video discusses substance use, addiction, and the biological effects of opioids. If these topics are sensitive or distressing, please take care of your mental health and step away if needed. Support resources are listed at the end of the video. Ever wonder why some people get hooked on opioids, even if they're taking the same meds as someone else? Turns out, it's not just a matter of weak will or poor choices. A lot of it comes down to your epigenetics, or the secret notes in your DNA that determines how they behave. Think of DNA like a to-do list for your cells. And there's only so much time in the day, and there's only so much caffeine you can consume. So the body needs to figure out what things are a priority and what aren't. That's where epigenetics comes in, a term coined by Sir Conrad Waddington in the late 1900s. Epigenetics is the process in which your DNA tells your cells which things need to be done and which things can be skipped. Kind of like putting an on or off switch on certain parts of your genome. It's like adding sticky notes to each one of these items saying, do this or don't do this, or on or off. Now, over the millennia, humans have adapted to many different kinds of environments, from deserts to mountain ranges. And throughout this long journey, the human DNA has picked up many traits. Some are useful, and some are just outdated. However, there are some that are just essential, like your drive for fear, hunger, and pain. Here is your brain, a biological supercomputer. The reason why we've been able to build civilizations, write poetry, or even invent the smartphone. It works through electrical signals and chemicals, some of which act as an internal reward system, like how you feel pleasure when you sleep, eat, or avoid a dangerous situation. It's essentially your brain's way of saying, hey, good job staying alive. Now imagine a substance with the key to that reward system, allowing your brain to release these feel-good chemicals like dopamine whenever it wants, like hitting the neurological jackpot over and over and over again. These substances, like opioids, don't just light up your reward system. Over time, they physically change the way your brain works through these epigenetic switches. They don't mutate genes, they flip the switches that control them. Now your cravings gene has been flipped on, and your self-control gene has been flipped off. Your brain starts changing physically in key areas like your nucleus accumbens, or your reward system, or the prefrontal cortex, or your main decision-making area. This is where things get serious. These changes can hijack your instincts, not because you want to, but because you're being biologically rewired. The molecules we're talking about are called opioids, commonly prescribed for pain relief. Vicodin, Percocet, OxyContin. You've probably tried one if you've had surgery or broken a bone before. And while they work well for many people, some individuals are just more vulnerable. They're genetically predisposed to feel these rewards stronger or have a harder time resisting them. You may never know you carry one of these genes until it's too late and your brain has already reacted. For some, the switch flips harder, faster. What started off as pain relief becomes something more powerful, more addictive. For them, this isn't just a series of bad choices, it's a biological loop. Now imagine this. You're a high school student, you're a star hockey player, you're team captain, great grades, active in your community. Then one day, even a random Tuesday during practice, something bad happens. You get unlucky, you come down with an injury. You're rushed to the hospital. The pain is unbearable. They prescribe you opioids. And for a while they work. They do what they're supposed to do. You feel the relief. You're finally able to sleep again. But unknown to you, something in your brain is wired just a little bit differently. Maybe addiction runs in your family. Maybe you just have a one-off, 1 in a million mutation. But that relief turns into reward, and that reward turns into craving. Over time, the injury heals, but the cravings don't. And eventually, your prescription runs out, and you look to other methods. The cycle escalates. Stronger drugs, bigger risks, not because you want to, but because your brain is physically demanding it. I know this all sounds very bleak, but here's the hopeful part. Epigenetic changes aren't permanent. Therapy, medication, social support, they can flip these switches back. Your brain can heal. Understanding addiction at a biological level means we can treat it with science and not shame. The brain is adaptable, and so is recovery. You're not broken, you're human. Humans can change.